But Judicial Watch, as I say, keeps on doing the work, and we just sued this week for more records about Bruce Ohr. Now, who is Bruce Ohr? Well, Bruce Ohr is the former top DOJ official. He's still in the Justice Department, linked to Fusion GPS, the Clinton DNC-funded operation that created the infamous Dossier targeting Donald Trump. So the Fusion GPS hired Christopher Steele, the former spy, or we're told a former spy for the United Kingdom, and Bruce Ohr's wife, Nellie Ohr. So we have some lawsuits for records about that already, but we filed a major one this week that asked for all records from the Office of Deputy Attorney General relating to Fusion GPS, Nellie Ohr, and our British national Christopher Steele, including but not limited to all records of communications about and with Fusion GPS officials, Nellie Ohr and Christopher Steele. And there are 3 other categories of records just like that, more or less. So we are thorough. And it's pretty clear that Bruce Ohr and Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS, along with Peter Strzok, the anti-Trumper FBI agent, are at the center of the storm here on this whole effort to get Donald Trump. Now, you may recall Peter Strzok had text messages. Now, he was the #2 FBI counterintelligence official. So you've got the director, and then I think you've got the assistant director, essentially, for counterintelligence, and #2 was Mr. Mr. Strzok. So Strzok is emailing his paramour, Lisa Page, the lawyer for Andrew McCabe, again, the disgraced Andrew McCabe. They hated Trump, they liked Hillary Clinton. Page said, but what about Trump? And Strzok says, we're going to stop him from winning. He also said he had an insurance policy in case Trump won. Well, it looks like that insurance policy was Fusion GPS and Christopher Steele. Now, you may recall Judicial Watch just last week uncovered documents showing that the FBI was meeting repeatedly with Christopher Steele, again, this Clinton agent, in 2016 during the election season. From February at least through November, it looks like, of 2016. They met with him 13 times. They created 15 reports based on those meetings, and they paid him some type of money 11 times. He was paid repeatedly by the FBI while Hillary Clinton was also paying him through Fusion GPS. Unbelievable, isn't it? But then he was deemed not suitable to be used as a confidential human source in November of 2016. So you would have thought that meant he was cut off. No, 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 no. That's where Bruce Ohr comes in, because there are documents coming out and they're being reported on by folks like John Solomon over at The Hill. And, I'm sure Sarah Carter, our friend, has reported on this as well. The Congress is finally getting some of these Bruce Ohr documents, like the ones we're suing for. And they show that Ohr was meeting repeatedly with Steele even after he had been cut loose, supposedly, by the FBI. And Ohr was using Steele's information or conveying information from this Clinton agent back into the FBI and Justice Department. So this is how the corruption works at the Justice Department and the FBI. So Bruce Ohr, who's the #4 official at the Justice Department, his wife gets hired by Fusion GPS. He's meeting with the Fusion GPS colleague of his wife, Christopher Steele, repeatedly. According to the documents, I think it's anywhere from 12 to 24 times, after the FBI cut him off. And he's sending the information he gets from Steele at these meetings back into the FBI. So you've got the conflict with Steele, you've got the conflict that Ohr had with Fusion GPS, and then you've got the FBI taking information from Steele even though they deemed him not suitable to use as a confidential human source, none of which was told to the FISA courts as they were promoting Steele as their #1 source and his dossier as central to getting approval to spy on the Trump team. So that's the Bruce Ohr story. So you can see how he, Steele, and Strzok, and you can bet their Strzok was involved in all of this, is central to this. So we're glad that Congress is getting documents. That's why we're suing for documents as well. I mean, we've got the documents from the FBI showing the relationship the FBI had with Steele. Now there are other documents that the DOJ is sitting on, some of which at least they gave to Congress, or maybe leaked to John Solomon, I don't know. But isn't that incredible? Now, Bruce Ohr is an interesting guy. Because not only was he number 4 at the Justice Department, he was demoted once that relationship with Fusion GPS became widely known. I'd like to know who knew what and when about what was going on there, because the documents also show that Ohr and Steele were talking about getting Steele involved in the Mueller investigation. Of course, he already was involved because the FISA warrant that Mueller was using to spy on Carter Page had Steele as a central source. But the question is, was they doing any other work? We don't know the answers to that. This is why Mueller needs to testify. What did he know about what Strzok was up to when he was working for him? Steele, what was his relationship with Bruce Ohr? Because Bruce Ohr shouldn't have been involved in this at all. He was number 4 at the Justice Department. He wasn't assigned to Russia investigations. What was he doing involved doing this? Well, his wife worked there. So Bruce Ohr, but he had been taken out of that number 4 position after all this came out. And so he's now back, supposedly, where he's been for a long, long time, running the organized crime section of the Justice Department. Now, I've met Bruce Ohr working here at Judicial Watch, because back, it's probably 18, 17, 16 years ago, Judicial Watch represented a client who had given money to Hillary Clinton, and the client was being prosecuted or investigated by the Justice Department over some stock issues, and he alleged that the people he was working with were confidential informants for the Justice Department, the mob types, and they were doing illegal things, and that should be brought to the attention of the Justice Department. So we were briefing the Justice Department on all of this, and Bruce Ohr we met with repeatedly. In fact, he flew down to Brazil to meet with our client. And I was down there with him, with our attorneys at the time. And so I remember Bruce Ohr. And, he seemed to me a straight shooter in the sense that he didn't have much of an axe to grind in terms of being for or against Hillary Clinton, because all this was about Hillary Clinton in the end. But certainly he had zero interest in being told about misconduct by informants for the FBI or the Justice Department, because I know, based on what I understood, nothing was done about it.